mean, you can do it, but that it's a clean cut, that when you start receiving the actual money, that you keep it in that year's books to make it.
What difference does it make?
It makes a difference in my mind to be able to budget and to understand where you are for the rest of the year. I can see the plus in doing that way, because that's really what you want your accounting to do, is to give you the most valuable information for the year that you're dealing with. And if you do it the other way, and I'm not arguing that it's either way's better. I'm asking them to make sure they're going to be comfortable in the whole scheme of things, and Mary's saying that's the way she'd like to have it, and I think Chewy's saying the same thing, so it's fine with me. But I was wondering if it's the best, but, I mean, that's y'all's call, not mine.
And then, you know, I sat down with Rose and I asked her, I wanted to make sure that she felt comfortable with it, and she said, I think, speak up, Rosa, she said it would be ideal for her.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's,
yeah, and for water accounting, it's ideal too, because we closed the water accounting out October 31. So.
Okay. Well, that was my only question, that if we're going to change it, let's make sure that we do it at the best time. And if that's the best time, it's fine with me.
And now, what you're talking about is the water assessment, right?
Right, for when we switch over to non-allocation and other off allocation, and then the reconciliation with reclamation. So October 31st. Plus, the board's always requested that we approximate a cash basis on our reports, and to accommodate that, what Mary's saying is critical.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're right. That's the point. But and I don't care which time. I just want to make sure that it's the best for, you know, to give us the best information at in any specific time about a specific year. So that makes sense, because they quit. The water we start delivering after that goes in next year's tax year. Okay, that's fine.
Well, just Kathy reminded
The
me
question
that
is,
water
water
and
assessment is not a tax, Rose.
Yes, sir.
The water assessment is not a tax.
No,
It
it's a
is
charge.
a charge for
Yes.
the use of water.
Yes, sir.
You get that straight.
Yes, sir.
What did Kathy say? What?
The end of water season is September 30th. Not October.
Well, I still give you the month of October, didn't
Well, October 1st, we start the new season, so this season would end on the 30th of September.
Yeah, but we're still under discussion whether we. Anyway, we've talked about it. There's no perfect date, but October 31st is the best.
But we can change the water deal to the same.
Right, exactly. That's if we need to, and then there's a reconciliation that goes on in that month anyway. So
Kathy's saying no.
Kathy?
We've been doing it for the past couple of years.
that's not.
We've been doing it for the past couple of years. September the 30th, we shut it off and we start allotment. Or none allotment on October.
Well, I understand it, but we can change that anytime during the year as far from board action to change the.
Well, we only do
season, but
we only do it like that, Johnny, so Rose can start closing her, start doing her.
it doesn't matter to me. I mean, whichever works for you guys. It's all
Well,
about
it gives us a chance to send out notices, so if there's a problem with the charges, they can come back to us
Well, there
before
never
it's
is,
assessed.
right?
Pardon?
There's never any problem with the charge.
Never.
Yeah. You can do that in one day, solve all those problems.
Well, you don't want your exempt property leases, that's what you're talking about, Kathy, right?
No, all water is.
All water.
Well, what I'm saying is, the leases go into effect just like the base taxes, the first of the year.
No.
But what I'm asking a question, you tell me now. I'm not telling you anything, I'm asking you, okay? How do you handle the billing on the leases for tax exempt properties?
They pay up front.
No.
No.
They can't. They're charged what they use during the year.
Okay.
That's the only way we can charge them.
Although we charge them up front.
No.
No,
The leases are all small tract leases. They're
Right.
handled on a allocation that we already know, so there's no reconciliation. I think we're getting off subject. I think that the water, there's always has to be a reconciliation. No fiscal year is perfect. There's always going to be things that have to go before or after, like Johnny said. We've talked about it many years, and October 31st we think is the best date that we can pick.
See what you mean? Do I hear a motion that we change our fiscal year to October 31st?
And we extend the current fiscal year until,
And extend, yeah.
until October
Well,
31st,
sure.
through
Yeah.
October
Yeah,
31st.
the October 31st being the ending of and the beginning of the fiscal year, November 1st.
Right.
And you're asking that right now, to go this current year.
This current year will be
Yes.
And
extended
extend this one
for an
until.
additional 2 months.
And y'all discussed, like Johnny said, all the ramifications, including the January 1 idea.
And I think Mary's proposed a budget extension or amendment.
Yes, this budget amendment would consist of, for the final 3 months, which is August, September, and October.
That's what that will deal with.
Yes.
Well, see, the fiscal year, I don't care what it is not gonna change anybody's legal rights or obligations. They continue regardless of the fiscal year.
I can make that motion.
Okay, you make the motion, do I hear a second, Indar second? All in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. All right.
All right, that's all I had in the general manager's report. There's some other things in the closed, but
Okay, Al, you're on, you and Jay.
Jay, do you wanna put that, power, or that PDF I sent you up on the screen?
Yes, it is on.
and the last I heard last night, Al, you were flying in and,
Yeah, we can thank Southwest, I get to spend most of the night in the airport.
okay. But you are coming in this afternoon for our meeting?
Yeah, I'm already booked after, I head to the airport right after this meeting, so.
Okay.
So you guys can see up on the screen is a reconciliation. Our charges, our totally usable water for the project this year is very large. You can see it's almost 600,000 acre feet, so that's very significant. And it's, it gets us out of that, a little bit temporarily out of that extreme drought that we had. The operating agreement is working great. It's accounting for the river losses and the groundwater pumping in New Mexico. You can see that our allocation is significantly higher, 60,000 from EBID. So that's a good thing. And switch to the next page.
Okay, we were on first. You were talking on the second page. I had the first page up. Which one?
The first page was totally usable water. The second page is allocation charges.
Right. Which one are you talking about?
This is total usable
Allocation
water.
charges.
This should have been first page, I think, it is total usable water.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so which one do you have up now? The one that says July 31st?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. You can see, so what that shows is what Miguel was talking about, is that so far through July, we've used about 79,000 acre feet. The remaining of the current allocation, by the way, there's more water that hasn't been allocated, a significantly amount, but this, right now, we've only allocated through June, and as the 1st of July, we haven't done an additional allocation. There's various reasons for that. We probably won't do an additional allocation. We've got plenty of water. That would give us a release. If we were the only ones on the river, we could release 906. Currently, the diversion ratio is about 82. So about 18% is what we're losing of the release. That gives a diversion flow that we would be able to divert of 743, and right now, what Robert is ordering is about 600. So that gives him some flexibility to go up as high as he needs to go up to meet demand during the next 2 months, and then come back to his budget number, which is around 600. So I think we're in extremely good shape. My estimates are, as Chewy said, that we'll have a minimum of 50,000 acre feet in reserve if we continue on, and that would have us going all the way through September to October 1st, and meeting all demands. The question of whether we go off allocation or increase the allocation, I think I'm going to leave that up to Robert, but our recommendation is, and I haven't from him on how many people are running out of allocation, but our recommendation would be to leave the allocation alone, and that if we need to, we probably could go off of allocation sometime in mid-September, or to allow an additional irrigation for those people that had run out of allocation. So I'll leave that up to you, Robert. Robert, do you want to talk about that?
I already got some pecan people that are out of water. And I had like one gentleman this morning that was wanting to buy some water from another farmer, but the farmer wanted $25 an acre foot. And he figured, well, if I gotta pay $25 and then I gotta pay another $20 for using the water for the district, it's $45, so he said he ready to pump.
Well, are these people with large amounts of water, or these are ones that have just small acre? I mean, how many acre feet are we talking about here?
This guy uses about 75 every time he waters, 75 acre feet. He's a big farmer. But a lot of the pecan people are starting to hit the limit.
How much revenue would we gain if we were to go to another?
I think it's neutral.
Is it neutral or not?
Yeah, it would be a neutral revenue, because we go off allocation, we're still gonna charge the same delivery fees. And if we just out of water, we could increase the allocation. Robert, have you looked at an increased allocation, or what's your recommendation?
Al, if you want to go, if you go up another 6 inches, and then there's no room for another small tract watering in there. That's the problem, if you're gonna, because another 6 inches would give another small tract watering.
Right.
And that would make it a lot, real hard. So the best thing to do, maybe just go off allocation and let everybody use what they need.
If you go off allocation, the charges stay the same, so rather than neutral, I think you would possibly get more money, because you won't have the farmer trying to start as well, right?
Right.
The same for the amount of water, but you say
Right.
neutral.
For the 2.5.
It may be more money, but the differential will be neutral.
But you're saying the small tract would not get another watering?
There's no more room in there.
So there's no more time in the schedule to be able to do it.
How many have they gotten, or are they?
They're gonna get a total of 6.
6.
Yes.
And most pecan guys are getting about 5 out of that sweet water, right, Robert?
Right.
Okay.
So there, a lot of them are already pretty well at their limit at the 5, so they're starting to.
So you're recommending going off allocation when?
September 1?
Like pretty soon, like this gentleman right now, and there's not only him, there's a couple of more, they're starting to run out of water. Plus a bunch of those small.
Regardless of that, what is your recommendation, Robert, is when?
If you're gonna do it, just do it now, Johnny.
Now, effective now.
And that way me and Kathy can put it on the building that goes, we're fixing to send out statements. We can put it in there with approval of Chewy, with the letter, we'll put it in the mail, so everybody can be aware of it right away.
Is there any downside? Anything?
Yeah, I think, we better call a special meeting if we're gonna go off this early, because it triggers all sorts of, that water would normally be held in reserve for next year and reallocated to everybody. I think that I wasn't prepared to go off allocation today. We've always tried to do it closer to the end of the season out of a necessity. We need to probably have discussions with the city on this to make sure that they understand and don't have any problems with it. And I probably need to talk to legal about it, but I do not recommend going off allocation today. We can call a special meeting if it ends up that there's no legal issues with it, and do it next week, or do it early next week if it's that much of an urgency. But I think it's too early in the season to go off allocation right now.
Well, we need to be very careful that there's not any ramifications that we're not thinking about. I know we're trying to do one thing that may shoot us in the foot the other, so you need to investigate it. I agree, that was my concern, Robert, that we need to make sure that when we do it, that it's okay to do it that way. So I agree with that. I don't know about the rest of you. I think y'all study it, come back with your recommendations, and then we can hold a special meeting.
We hear that EBID will be going off next week, Robert?
There, I talked to James here, and he's talking about next Friday.
Next Friday?
Are they running out of water?
Yeah, well, they're gonna have carryover, but they've decided that, you know, they've been talking about ending their
It
season.
may not have
next
any
week.
effect on us either, but all these contracts that we have and stuff like that, we need to make sure that we're all right.
Yeah.
It may be easier just to give that extra 6 inches on allocation, right? Is that what I'm hearing? Possibly. Well, we'll let them.
Just come back with your recommendation, because Al wasn't prepared, and you're seeing the problems that exist. Of course, we want to address all the problems we can, but we can still do it a week from now whenever y'all have time to analyze it better.
And the other thing I was gonna ask, if we don't get that extra watering for the small track, going into the following year, does that have any effect on getting the watering maybe earlier?
Well,
That depends on the water.
yeah, it depends on what comes in. I mean, definitely it'll be a nice carryover that we'll have and a nice cushion, and then it'll just depend on.
Any water that we carry over will affect that, but you don't know what that'll be
Right.
But at least you have that.
until you see what the storage is, or what the allotments are gonna be from the
Right.
Bureau in the next year. Okay, let's do that then. All right, Alan, you wanna go ahead, finish your report?
Somebody's on there? Okay. I'm doing that.
Somebody wishing in there a happy birthday.
Yeah.
He won't even tell us how old he is. Asked him 3 times, and he acts like he can't hear
So he
me.
didn't get that old without having that intelligence, but there's, you know, there hasn't been a whole lot going on with the compact. Reclamation has been given this daily accounting to stay on top of it, but since we have a significant amount of usable water, they're really just, I mean, I haven't heard of any issues at all being raised by New Mexico or Colorado, have you?
No, I haven't either.
So I think we're in good shape on that. It does present itself that this is both with EPID and with our district, is that next year, Miguel might, you know, we can't forecast that until we see what happens with the snow, but this will be the largest amount of carryover that we've gone in to a new year in the last 6 years, right, Judy?
That would be.
Yeah, I think it was like 5.
And knowing that, I mean, that's where I'm coming from. We've been multiple years now that we've had late, which is understandable, but now that we have a substantial carryover, something that we haven't had in a long time, keep in mind that a small track, or let's see when we get some watering, I want us to keep that in mind and do what we have to do to get as much, an earlier watering as possible.
Sure.
And rather than keeping the status quo, because it seems like, maybe I'm not reading this correctly, but it seems like we've gotten comfortable with June 1st every year for the last 3 years.
No, we're not comfortable.
Very
difficult for anybody, farmer.
Good.
It's called
Good.
the
I'm glad
necessary
that we're
evil.
not getting comfortable.
But we haven't had the water, but if we don't have the water, I mean, nothing would suit the rest of the farmers and what have you to start that allotment in March or February like we have in the
But,
past.
yes, but be prepared. If we can, let's do it.
Oh, well,
Okay.
that'll all depend on what happens
In the weather.
in the water. But it looks a lot more promising, right? Al's point is that we're in a better position now than we have been in 3 or 4 years to have a better situation. Not meaning that it will be a better situation, but we have a better chance of it being a better situation. All right. What else, Al?
That's all. Any questions?
Excuse me, Mr.
Hey.
Brooks, we need a motion on 4D. Any action on 4D? The budget amendment.
For the budget amendment?
Right.
Well, that wasn't included in our other motion.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna include that in.
We need to have that separate motion.
You have to have a separate
Right?
motion.
Okay,
Separate.
we can do that. There's one there, 9C, status of the third-party construction in district canals and stuff. Do you have anything to say on that?
No,
I'll send over to Jay, but we don't have any construction right now, right now.
there's only one now, an ongoing project at Horizon Boulevard in the middle drain. They're changing out the 30-inch corrugated metal pipe to a 6x6 box culvert. It's dry, obviously, the middle drain, but no, they've done half of it already. They switched traffic over last week. and they're working on the south side, but, that's the only construction within District 1.
It's something new, no construction.
Yeah, but there's none in the canals. I mean, we don't allow any construction in the canals.
Right. Okay, well, let's go back to, which one was it, 4D? 4D, clean house on that deal. I'd entertain a motion to amend our current budget to reflect the new fiscal year. Hear that motion?
I move,
Okay.
second, I second.
Okay, Larry made the motion, Gail seconds.
I have with the recommendation of the administration, right, the administration is recommending.
Yes, we've discussed it in detail this way.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we change, we amend the budget. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign.
And just for the record, there's no action on 4E, correct?
No, we've not acted on that yet.
No, 8.
We're going to consider it though, it's not been dropped.
Well, we were supposed to consider it under 8E,
Right.
and we have not, so you want to clean that up right now too? Or do you guys need to get to work? You do? All right, we'll do you, and we'll come back, so we need to come back to 4E. I thought we covered all of that in, not 4E. Yeah, 4E. I was confused when I got here now. You got me going backwards. Okay. Steve Rose, you're on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, just to start off, Al, on those on-farm turnouts, they're all ready to go for, I guess, for calibration.
Okay.
We did the last one, we finished it yesterday, so we're set to go. Okay, some of the projects that we completed, here this past month is we finished Old Waco Tanks Road. We actually weren't done, water system got on top of us, so we still had to pour that downstream head wall, which was done here, I guess we completed about 3 weeks ago. So that project has been completed, and we have gotten paid by City of Socorro for the work that we did for them. These pictures here kind of show you what is it that we did. And of course, with this rain brings weeds. This is the east drain up in the upper valley. We had a couple of complaints up there, and I can see why here. But we've gone in there, we mowed the drains with our drain mowers, and we've got an excavator on the Montoya drain. This is right there by Frontera and Sunland Park. We had cattail that was about, I would say about a good 10 feet high. So we've got in there, it's been removed. You can see how high that water is. I still have the excavator there. Oh yeah, they're directly behind Sunland Park right now, right behind the racetrack. And we're gonna go ahead and continue on down all the way to the river.
That thing's running a lot of water, that's Iowa?
It's just backed up, Johnny, it's backed up real bad with that cattail.
Because of
Yeah, it looks like a canal.
it looks like a storm flow, muddy water.
It's got a lot of water in it. Upper Franklin, this, I've been bringing some guys in here on the weekends to do some cleanup here at the Upper Franklin. Most of this work here, we have to do by hand. It's just there's so much overgrowth, and the banks are so narrow that we can't get into the equipment, so we'll have to go into the chainsaw.
That's on the Franklin's now.
Franklin Canal, yes sir, this is right there between Copia and Eucalyptus. And I figure with 2 more weekends, we ought to be able to knock it all out. There's some areas that we can't bring the mowers in, and we're doing that, but you can see just the growth that we have there. And that's kind of what it looks like after we're completed.
Yeah, it's not that caused by encroachment from the sides, encroachment from other people, private owners.
It's not too bad here, Johnny. You know, what we have there is, I mean, it's been like this for so many years.
The canal just needs to be restructured, is that?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, narrowed down and the banks widened.
So
But this Franklin Canal is something that, you know, we can dig it out one year, by the next year, we're having to go back, and we got about 3-4 feet of sand in there. And then the storms, of course, they're not helping any, but, this is a tree there on the branch A, right upstream from Penn Hill. That came from our ditch bank, right into, the gas farm there. This is another one, the Salitral over behind Nicky Lijano's place.
There's a dead tree there.
Dead tree, yes, sir. This one here is really not on our right of way, but, what we do is we'll go in there, we'll cut it up, remove it, and put it back on his property. Then he'll get rid of it. Sanelli, Maine. Because you can see our canal there. So these are things that we have to react pretty quick, and Robert can run water. See the back over there, that's already making it through. That's after we're completed with it. This here, this is a culvert that was made by Elephant Butte Irrigation District. It's a brand new head wall. Jay, this is the one that's right there by the entrance to that house that they were building up above the Vinton heading. This was just built this year. You can see the crack.
Run out of rebar, or no cement.
It doesn't look like it's got rebar.
Not enough cement in the mix.
And then we've got some sinkholes there, so.
Yeah, well, it got undermined, is the reason it broke,
Right. So this is New Mexico, it is, it's one of EPCWID's projects. I don't know where it is. And then we're doing some cleanup on our wells. Our wells are getting a little bit overgrown also, so that's pictures of what he looks like. Island Main, this is right there over the island drain. We're having now is the liner has actually started a rot away, and we're starting to get water underneath it. So these are areas that everywhere we put this liner in, I think we need to go back and probably shotcrete here in the near future.
Can you do it in places where that liner's still intact, can you do the shotcrete over that?
Yes, yes we can. One of the practices we've been trying to do is kind of narrow it a little bit. Every time we shotcrete, we kind of narrow it to try to speed up the water.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it is something that we can do, especially on such a small piece like this.
Usually, they're usually just punctures, right?
Yes.
Somehow they got punctured and.
They get punctured, then we get water behind it, and you get these big bubbles inside the.
Yeah. Old dogs and
Yes, sir.
four-wheelers and chauffeurs and whatever else.
You name it. This is the I-57 where we, you know, any chance we get, we can race some banks. That's we, you know, we take our dump trucks out there. Anytime Robert gives me people from operations, I stick to my dump trucks. So that's the I-57 there by Holy Water. T-216, we had this blowout here, I think last week. This gate has been replaced, it was finished yesterday. Apparently a log got right in there. And Robert kept closing the heading, couldn't figure out why he kept getting water in there. So that's been replaced. And then we're starting work on the riverside. This is a section where we'll be doing some shotcrete this coming year in the winter time. We've got some Scott Bain is giving us some soil, and so has Ortega. So what we're doing now is we're fixing the ditch banks to where they can take the dirt to where we need it, rather than stockpile it and us having to move it. So we sent the grader out there. This is right there by the Franklin feeder, just downstream from the Bustamante, right by the old water treatment plant. And that's the riverside right there to the left-hand side.
Lake.
Then we did some ramps to get the belly dumps in and out. And here you got the belly dump starting to bring this dirt. What we're doing, we're just stockpiling it, leveling it, that way Robert can continue running water. And then once we get into the winter season, we'll go in there and push this dirt aside to start narrowing the channel. Okay, so this is something that we're doing right now, they're bringing us quite a bit of dirt.
It's good thinking ahead.
This right here is the Canutillo. This is our little tragedy of the weekend. The New Mexico drain goes under the Canutillo, and the Canutillo actually collapsed into the drain. There you'll see the pipe and you see why it went. The pipe is completely gone. Water got into both sides of the drain, so we need to go back and redig the drain. And I know Robert, Mr. Reyes here, and myself, we've been getting calls like crazy wanting to put water back in the Canopio because this actually cripples all the country club area. This feeds all the Montoya system and of course the Canopio. And I'm hoping to have this completed by tomorrow. So, and well, this is for Robert. That's all I have today, gentlemen.
All right,
Any questions?
Miss Chewy was telling me that we had another break over here on the island feeder, whatever it is up there.
Yes, sir.
Where are we?
Right downstream from where we put the
We
line.
gotta fix that canal. I mean, that thing's just constantly a problem. What are y'all thinking about doing there?
Well, I know Jay has talked to TxDOT. He's making contact with TxDOT because I know one of the problems has probably been that culvert on Socorro Road. Apparently what they did is they inserted a smaller pipe inside the box culvert. And I'm sure that's probably causing some kind of restriction. We're working on making the gate on the I-57 automatic. So that's gonna reduce the levels.
Problems.
Yeah, and Mr. Reyes also, we've spoken about shot treating the whole island feeder.
That needs fixed. That canal, if none of you have ever seen it, it's really high in comparison to the land on the south side of it. I mean, the whole canal's above the land way up, and it's always a problem. We really, we busted it last year when the cotton was ready to pick, and it was a real nightmare, but it's a continuous problem, so we need to do something to solve it. And I hope you can get text out to,
Right,
get it.
I asked Jay to contact them and, we've had 8 ditch breaks since they did that, since they put those inserts in, so Jay's been making contact with them. We had a real good meeting with them on Friday. We've got excellent working relations with them, and I think they know it's a problem. I asked Jay to take some of the reports and some of the pictures and show them what it's causing us. But we do have to shot treat line that area. Al's worked on automatic gates. Pete's installed the automatic gates. Now Al just needs to come back and hook them up. So we've done everything that we can short of concrete line, and that's one of the proposals for next year's budget is that we shot treat line, I think from
the heading to Socorro.
From the heading to Socorro.
It's a long stretch.
The crossing needs to be upgraded. It's significantly undersized.
Talking about TxDOT, if they agree that it needs to be done, how long are we looking at them doing something?
Well, that's what they're inquiring as of yesterday, see if they can handle it through maintenance. Because if they have to go to their normal letting schedule, it'll be a year out minimum. So if they go through a maintenance, and I said, we will assist in installation, as far as putting the pipe in any way we can. Y'all shut down the roadway and then obviously backfill and pave. So they are exploring that option as of yesterday. I told them it's undersized and it's going to create the backwater. And what they did in '06, they did an extension project, so they added an additional 35 feet, which now obviously it takes that much longer to get through, and obviously causing the backwater effect and the pressure of the canal. So they are looking into it, so hopefully the next couple of days we'll have some good news, and maybe this non-irrigation season we go in and replace it.
Yeah, well, that canal needs fixed regardless, because, that's a problem that just showed us the problem that existed, but just the structure of that canal is just scary.
Yeah.
One little gopher and boom, boy, and then when it washes out,
It's very sandy.
It's very sandy and it's high. I mean, it's like, 4 feet higher than the rest of the area. When it washes out, it's a canyon out there.
Since that culvert was extended, it has reduced the capacity of that canal by half.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's significantly undersized.
Yeah, because that affects the downstream users.
It
really affects y'all, Robert's business.
Well, the biggest thing with that thing, Johnny, is that, Casey irrigates off that canal, okay? At the 57, they've always been used to having the water going over the weir. Now, we only got it even with the weir because it backs up the culvert, and then the culvert gets twice as high. And he don't like it, but you know, if we get the water over the weir like he wants it, we'll break it up there very
Well,
easy.
yeah, you can't, but you can't do it, of course. But
And then that day it broke, it has an alarm at the 57 heading. The ditch water never had it over the weir, it was always below, but it just built it up so back.
whatever little bit of blockage that goes in there, I mean, it doesn't take much. If you're running it at the limit, just whatever tree branch or whatever gets in can cause it to, in a hurry, so. Well, it needs attention, that really is a bad area there.
If we get it resolved, hopefully,
All right.
this year.
All right, Pete,
Thank you.
thank you.
I'm gonna start off real fast with, because that's the biggest question I get here lately is when we're gonna shut off. And I'd like to give the farmers an idea when we're gonna shut off, because they're all worried about hay and their trees, and last year we kinda got in a little trouble here with it, but I'm proposing that, and talking to Chewy, that we make September the 21st the last day to order water. Okay, and then we're going in there and saying Unit 6, that after they order water on that 21st, they gotta be ready by that Monday. Well, September the 18th is the day that they're gonna have to order water, the last day to order water. By Monday, everybody needs to be ordered, especially Unit 6, and then we're gonna, everything that's there, we're gonna go ahead and try to water them, and we'll go as far as we have to go with Unit 6. As soon as we get everybody watered out, we will shut down Unit 6. It'll usually take us about a week and a half, so we're talking about from the 21st to about the 28th to 29th to get to Unit 6. Everything comes in, we'll get them watered out.
Which will get us close to the October 1 date, but, you know, we might shut them down 3 or 4 days
As soon as we get
earlier,
irrigation.
as soon as we irrigate everybody.
And then we'll go to Unit 7 the same way. We will take the orders on the 18th, and we'll go to Friday the 18th. We'll take the orders, and everybody's gotta be ready, but Unit 7 gotta understand that no matter what happens, by October the 1st, we'll be out of water in that area. And then the next thing is, what Al, we were talking about earlier, proposing that we close Caballo on Monday the 28th, and that will take us right into October the 1st, and we'll be out of water. And then
Elephant Butte,
Elephant Butte Dam, the Bureau will shut it down as soon as they get dates from us and know exactly how much water we'll need in Caballo. And then they'll, usually a week before, they'll shut down Caballo.
as soon as they see it to where they're gonna bring it down to, I think they're trying to bring it down to about 5,000 in there.
In Caballo, and then they want to make sure that we have enough there for push water and what we're going to use.
And as soon as they see the date that we're gonna shoot at, a target date, then they'll start acting. But I'm getting a lot of calls from farmers, and they're just right here asking me, when are we gonna cut off? This would give everybody a chance already, if they're gonna plant hay, or whatever they're gonna do, to get ready. Because after these target dates, they'll be gone, especially Unit 6 up there. And because what was the thing is that after September the 15th, it pretty well dies out. The cotton is gone, all we're gonna have left is a little bit of alfalfa and pecans. And the demand pretty well dies out. And what we were talking about earlier, come September the 30th, at 2400, we will shut off all the allotment water, and we'll start October the 1st, we'll start non-allotment.
Unless we do it earlier.
Unless we do it earlier, but.
Let me ask you a question on 6 and 7. If we go, since we've gone to this new year, fiscal year, 6 and 7 then would be changed also? Would that be charged?
No, because they'll still be in September, Art. They'll be in September, and we'll shut everything off.
Okay, well, let's say the non-allotment use that would happen after October 1.
Unit 6 won't have no non-allotment, because they'll be off by then.
All right, let's say 9.
They'll go into non-allotment.
But I mean, for those charges, are they gonna show them on the bill?
They'll go into.
Maybe there's a question for Mary, would that be for,
That doesn't change.
No,
that doesn't change
Water
your
year
bill?
stays the
Or
same.
water year, okay.
Yeah, it'll stay the same, but it gives, like we were saying earlier, it gives me and Kathy to send out the statements for everybody to,
I give
one
her
more
October
time, look at
one.
their charges, and
All right, I got it.
And then once we and Cassie clear out the books, and then we says, okay, Rose, it's your baby. But, those are just target dates, and if you, indoor, do you see any problem with them? Especially in Unit 6? We're trying to make sure we cover everybody, but I think the most thing, the important the farmers are worried about is when are we gonna cut them off? And that way we tell them, the 18th will be the last day you can order water, we're gonna give you till Monday to be ready, so come Monday, we're gonna go in there.
Everybody wants to get that last irrigation, they need to be prepared to do it, so they need an advance notice.
If you all don't have a problem with them, me and Chewy been going through them yesterday. This is what we're gonna start giving out to the dispatchers and the discharge to let everybody know.
I don't have any problem with it, whatever works, I mean, you get it operated, so.
Okay.
As long as everyone gets the word.
Yeah.
That's the main thing that everybody knows.
And then like, in order to kind of help you out, there's been a lot of people in Upper Valley concerned with the steel breaking because of small cracks. And our main concern right now, the Friday ones, we're gonna be able to pick them up without no problem, Saturday, Sunday. The only ones that we might not be able to cover, which are the ones for tomorrow. Me and Cassie are in the process of calling them now, and give them a deal, try to get them this weekend. If not, you just tell them, we'll pick you up next Thursday. And they're liking the idea that we'll just pick them up next Thursday and find no problems. We call Q Deputy because he's a small crack also, and he kind of liked the idea also. So we're gonna get everybody, you know, to the person that called yesterday, they watered last weekend.
Yeah, I know, but they were more concerned, you know how it is, that, they started spreading rumor that, there would be no water at all in the Upper Valley for 3 weeks, and I said, no. I said, Pete's got it under control, he's assured us by Thursday we'll be back in operation.
Yeah, because the rumors were out there that it was gonna take us 4 weeks to finish, to do the job.
I thought it was out in the beach, dude.
And I just told Julia now this morning, we're ordering the water today from Calios, so we'll pick it up tomorrow afternoon. So they're giving me okay, the water from Calios will be here in the Upper Valley ready to go. And we're gonna have to run them pretty hard, so they're gonna run 130 feet there for a couple of days to catch up where we're at.
Robert, are all the construction projects and all out for this coming year, we're gonna have the normal return flows that we had in the past? Because last year we were limited because of the construction.
I think you're gonna be more limited this year.
Because
Because the Riverside's gonna go out of commission as soon as possible, or people won't be able to get into it.
We've got to do from the end of the American Canal to the bridge there where Jonathan Ryder. No, that's why, remember last year I suggested maybe we go with a channel around the backside.
We'll have the Rogers.
The Corps is gonna be doing 3 bridges, across the Riverside at Herring, Las Bombas, and, by the Socorro Pond.
Plus the settling basin, also they're gonna go in there, so that's gonna be shut down, that little waterfront that comes from Upper Valley.
Well,
One thing we have talked about, Johnny, is to get ready for the possibility of a March release.
yeah, I was hoping that may be the case.
Yeah, that's what me and Peter and Chewy and Jane have always talked about, that whatever we do, we gotta get ready for, gear up for some first of March possibility. No matter what happens. We will have, Johnny, all the Bustamante, which is a good, it runs from 60 to 80 feet. And the best way to run that return flow is to the Franklin feeder, down the island feeder. We have that.
But you have to get it into that feeder through the riverside.
No, it's below the construction.
Below the construction.
We can run that water, if that's your
That's the
concern.
major supply.
Yes.
We might even get some, I don't know, I was gonna say, I'm being stupid now, I guess I thought we might even get some drain flows out of the Upper Valley, but I'm forgetting how bad the aquifer is up there, that'd be
But we got the Bustamante to deal with, and it's still livable, I mean, to considering that all we're gonna have left is still
There'll be
livable.
some, yeah. And hopefully we'll have an earlier release.
Yes.
We don't know.
And so we talked about the target dates, we talked about that, the delivery is right on order. We're still delivering a little bit behind schedule, but we're doing pretty good there. And I think Gal was very concerned about, so far, the way we've operated the deliveries to the farmers. In June, we were down to, we started off with a 65% delivery to the farmers and PSBs. And in July, we kicked it up from 65 to 72%. So right now, we're at an average of 70% for the year. So we're right in the ballpark of where we should be, delivering to the small tracks and everybody else. And hopefully with August, it'll improve it a little bit. And we should have plenty of water left over. We stay with the budget that Al has up there, and everything's going good.
All right,
Other than that, I'm Peter.
we'll deal with this, y'all work on this allotment stuff, you know, as far as the allotment or non-allotment, and we'll have a special meeting and get it all worked out.
Yeah, 'cause it works for you too, Roseland.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's that?
The way we've been handling it between ourselves and Rose, September, it works out great for us.
Well, I understand that part of it, but I'm just saying for board action as far as
Okay.
when we're gonna.
Yeah, 'cause this particular, I don't know everybody's account, but people